From Drop Biscuit Studios and the people who brought you Wondery's Inside Jaws, Inside The Exorcist, and Inside Psycho comes You Talking to Me? Bite-sized Hollywood history with plenty of bite. Yes, Sir Alec Guinness hated Star Wars. Sort of. This is You Talking to Me? I'm Mark Ramsey. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Yes, the fate of the universe rests in the hands of a man who called the Star Wars script bloody awful. Now keep in mind, by this point in his career, Alec Guinness was one of the most admired actors on any stage or screen. He was a veteran of Shakespeare, a rival for pole position roles with the likes of John Gielgud and Laurence Olivier. He turned in legendary performances in classic films like Great Expectations, Oliver Twist, and The Bridge on the River Kwai, for which he won an Oscar. And here he was, in a movie with a guy in a Wookiee suit and a couple of smart aleck robots. In his mind, this was Mystery Science Theater 3000. What was the guy from Dr. Zhivago doing in what Guinness called fairy tale rubbish? And then, wouldn't you know, that movie, Star Wars, is the one that sticks, the one for which he will be forever famous. At the time, of course, Alec was slumming. Guinness wrote to a friend, "I've been offered a movie, which I may accept if they come up with proper money, London and North Africa starting in mid-March. Science fiction gives me pause," he wrote, "but it will be directed by Paul Lucas, who did American Graffiti." By Paul, he meant George, of course, but at least he didn't say John or Ringo. "Big part," he went on, "fairy tale rubbish, but could be interesting, perhaps." Later, while shooting, his feelings had not changed. "New rubbish dialogue reaches me every other day on wads of pink paper, and none of it makes my character clear or even bearable. I just think thankfully of the lovely bread." He wrote to an American friend, "I must off to the studio and work with a dwarf. Very sweet, and he has to wash in a bidet. And your fellow countryman Mark Hamill and Tennyson Ford, or is it Ellison? Well, a rangy, languid young man who is probably intelligent and amusing, but, oh God, they make me feel 90 and treat me as if I'm 106. Oh, Harrison Ford. Ever heard of him?" Never heard of him, Alec. Guinness claims to have asked George Lucas to kill off his character, but all the evidence suggests otherwise. Instead, Lucas had to break the news to Guinness during shooting, and the esteemed actor did not take it well at all. But it was all for the best. Guinness was miserable in the role. "I couldn't go on speaking those bloody, awful, banal lines," he said later. "I'd had enough of the mumbo-jumbo. Every time Star Wars is mentioned to me, I shrivel up," he said. Fortunately, like any great actor slumming in a project for which they have no respect, Guinness negotiated a piece of the action. Ah, yes. And that turned out to be a tidy payday. A small percentage which translates to big bucks. As Guinness wrote, "Let me leave it by saying, I can live for the rest of my life in the reasonably modest way I am now used to, that I have no debts, and I can afford to refuse work that doesn't appeal to me. Oh, the benefits of that lovely bread." Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. And come on, give us a rating of 5 stars. You can do it. That's You Talking to Me. I'm Mark Ramsey.